Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle, and today I have for you updated build for the Cremator, from the beginner to advanced version. So if you are only looking for the advanced version, the bloodied one, and you want to skip a low level full health version, go to the timestamp on the screen right now, and if you want to watch everything, stay here. Now, first the perk loadout. There is no legendary effects at all, like no legendary perks, I mean. No legendary perks because that should be available for you relatively early to complete. So this is the loadout. What is worth to mention, this should give you enough damage with full health build and with non-legendary Cremator to kill about any enemy with one shot plus dot when adrenaline will be fully stuck. Dot is of course damage over time. So this is enough. And added tankiness should make it possible for you to play with any type of armor set that you'll be able to get in your possession. Secret Service the best, but any type will do. Now about the Cremator, you will need at least two. I have here a lot for testing purposes, but you will need at least two. The recommended first one that you'll be aiming to get is Vampire. Doesn't matter what other legendary effects it will have or not, you can even craft 1 stars. One you need Vampire, and you need a second one that will be whatever. As if you missed my video about stacking the dot, you can stack the dot, so on tougher enemies you'll be swapping between 2 Cremator weapons. On consoles it should be super easy as you have a quick button to swap back and forth between 2 weapons. In case of PC, unfortunately, you need to get used to pressing quick buttons or using the wheel. Now, a quick look on mutations that I will explain when we'll be going over advanced build. Early on you will probably not have all of those mutations, but I recommend looking for serums at player vendors as soon as it is possible for you, when you will have some caps. One important thing about gear outside of weapon, whatever your chest piece will be, you need to equip it with asbestos lining to prevent self-damage. This will give you a little bit of fire resistance and immunity to being set on fire that seems to be currently fixed and prevent yourself from Cremator damage. So it's really good. Last time I checked it wasn't working, today I checked and it was working, so definitely something changed recently. Therefore, this is a must-have, asbestos lining. You will want to switch to a jetpack, but only after you get a legendary card with fire resistance, as otherwise it's just too much self-inflicted damage when you shoot enemy that too close to you. And now I will continue with high-end version, but if you are new, keep watching so we will learn how exactly this build works and what is your long-term aim. You already have at this point a starter point. Now let's keep going, advanced endgame version. For the endgame version, this is a special before legendary perks. There is 15 additional points added from legendary perks, 5 to endurance, 5 to intelligence, 5 to luck. Outside of 15 to your special, very important card, Sizzling Style. This helps you avoid most of the damage from self-inflicted fire. Funky Dots, as this is no power armor build and I don't have other poison resistance on my armor pieces. If you do have some, this one will be not necessary for you. And Master Infiltrator here for my convenience. It can be swapped, although it is worth to mention, taking one for the team or follow through do not work on the dot, therefore not very important for this build. And now the perk cards themselves. So under strength we have Trawling Pharmacy for our 8, Bare Arms because it's beneficial to carry multiple Cremators, and unless you have a full armor with weapon weight reduction, those are very heavy. If you have a full armor with weapon weight reduction, switch it to Blocker. Then all heavy gunner perks, those do boost damage of the dot, and we are focusing here on dot, damage over time. After that, Concentrated Fire for occasional usage of a shotgun in VATS, or Cremator in VATS, that is less common, mainly in case of flying creatures, and Grenadier to increase the radius of explosions, helping you cover larger areas with less shots. I do recommend unequipping Grenadier when inside, so you will not blind yourself as much. Like clearing quest tech, I prefer to get Grenadier off. Under Endurance, this is very important as that is non-power armor blooded build that's simultaneously super tanky. So, Life Giver for tankiness, Fireproof for tankiness, Chem Fend for occasional boss fights, Radical for carry weight, Revenant again for occasional boss fights. It can be self-applied, and if you self-apply it with a Cremator, a bonus is one additional stack for Adrenaline is being applied simultaneously, so a very cool interaction. There are some perks being shared, so of course those are not essential. Under Charisma, strength in numbers and friendly fire, so you can heal friendly NPCs and your mutations are stronger. You probably noticed that there is nothing else, and normally there would be, but again, Tenderizer do not work on the dot, therefore non-essential. We are focusing on the dot. Under Intelligence, First Aid, Nerd Rage, and Batches included, where First Aid is really optional. I noticed that I have 3 extra points that I can spend somewhere. I choose to go with First Aid. You can really move these 3 points anywhere else. Nerd Rage is important, Batches included, important. Fuel is heavy and counts as energy ammo, therefore this helps greatly. Under Agility through Haika for my food, I have a lot of it. Honestly, you could play this build without the food, but endgame benefits of food are amazing. There is so much bonuses you can get from food, so I always carry a lot. Enforcer, that's for crippling enemies with your shotgun. Born Survival, just in case your health drops. Escape Artist, that in case I want to get out of the combat for a second or two. Just 1 point, very handy. Adrenaline, max out, works great with the dot. Dodgy, to avoid dying. Especially that we don't need VATS very often. It's not a problem that Dodgy is draining my action points. Under Luck, Bloody Mess, this one work on the dot, so it's here. Serendipity and Ricochet, those two add so much tankiness for any non-power armor build, especially when running with Vampire Cremator. Ricochet interaction is still here, so any deflected bullets will trigger Vampire for you, so yeah, amazing combo. Curator for occasional boss fight, Star Genes to keep my mutations, and Good with Soul to keep all this precious food unspoiled and ready for action. Now mutations for this build, you probably noticed something interesting, but let's carry on. Adrenal Reaction, yes, this boosts damage of the dot, so very important, that's why this build is blooded. If that would not work, I would probably go with full health, but it does work, so yeah, blooded it is for endgame. Still, especially non-power armor, as unyielding bonuses are here. Bird Bones for extra agility, but mostly to fall slower. Eagle Eyes is not really essential here, but if I want to occasionally use other weapon with crits, losing 4 strength is not deal breaker for me, so I decided to keep it. Although you can choose not to, if you prefer to have a little bit more carry weight. This will not be using much of a criticals at all with this build. Herbivore as a mutation, that's ultimate option for almost any endgame build. I do plan to do a separate video why is that, but yeah, you could go in this particular build with Carnivore if you value carry weight above else. Herd Mentality, free bonus to your special, you can be even solo on the group. It works. Marsupial for jumping higher, that's like the most essential one here. Scully Skin for extra resistance, Speed Demon to move faster, and Twisted Muscle to increase the spread. Yes, this one I have here for the side effect. I want to cover wider areas on events when firing with my Cremator, so this reduced gun accuracy is a plus for me. I love it. That's it. That's perfect. And especially without the power armor, when there is no stabilized perk, the spread is great. It's exactly as I needed. So you can see, if I fire in here, those projectiles cover a nice area. They all go in a little bit different direction, which is perfect. That's what I want. Easier to hit everything if you cover entire area rather than one spot. About the gear, I have a lot of cremators here. Realistically, you don't want more than 5 to 6. Doing the full rotation, you can watch my video about stacking the dot. Of course, I went over the top as much as possible with those cremators. In real life scenarios, I doubt that you will ever need more than 5 or 6 cremators. But yeah, 10 is a possible use case with dot stacking if you are on PC and you can use quick buttons to quickly swap and rotate between them. The best possible roll on the Cremator for damage purposes will be bloodied with extra damage while aiming. I have this one almost perfect roll weightless. Maybe faster reload would be more beneficial, but yeah, that's almost as good as it goes. And of course, Vampire as a daily driver, strongly recommended, so you don't need to worry about dying at all. Now, about the modifications, the most important, multi-shot barrel to have area coverage and slow burning for the dot damage. As you can see, that's before stacking adrenaline, 4.5k. That's a lot of dot. There is no regular enemies in game that can survive this amount of damage, so you don't really need to swap any weapons. Level 100 super mutants cannot survive one shot from a vampire. So yeah, with this build, not much targets that can resist you. And I will show you how efficient this is in the West deck. I heard some comments that this build is not good because you need to wait. I will show you that you don't need to wait. As my shotgun option for crippling, I have this Peppa Shaker with single barrel. Any shotgun will do, to be honest, that's just my choice. About armor options, it's full set of Secret Service with a jetpack on a torso, so I can fly around and bombard the area from the sky. It's really cool to do, so I like it. Under armor will be Secret Service as well. That's my outfit. That's my under armor. And I don't know where's the backpack. Oh, I'm using a cultist hoodie in here now. And the backpack should be somewhere here, and it's high capacity. Oh, there it is. I need to repaint it, that's not the one. Okay, I fixed the paint. High capacity backpack that looks like a fuel for my weapon. So that's a perfect fit. In this case scenario, a little bit different outfit than on low level build. I think the look is okay. And now for a little bit of combat showcase. I said that I like to do fly around above and then bomb all those super mutants. For that reason, I do have here like my birthday cakes on quick button, so after eating one, I can use a jetpack continuously, which is quite easy. Just press the button instead of using short bursts, and I can basically fly all over this area and drop those projectiles on the super mutants. As easy as that, and I'm using Vampire 1 at this moment. They are all dying, including the level 100. One I didn't hit, looks like, so now it will get hit. The burn damage alone is already enough. My adrenaline is stuck, so my Vampire is already at 4k. Now inside, what I will do, unequipping Grenadier, changing to first person perspective, and now, do you need to wait? And I will tell you, no. You just run through the West deck, make sure that Super Mutant got hit. After it gets hit, you don't care about the Super Mutant anymore. As you can see, I'm getting experience consistently, so every Super Mutant that got hit is dead. You don't need to wait for any confirmation. You will get your experience and your confirmation. Only legendary super mutants need correction and another hit, that's normal. But you will need to return to it to pick up your legendary. If you want to loot everything else to get your fuel back and so on, you just return after a full circle to pick up everything. And it's even easier as you will not be over encumbered. I don't like to pick up as I go in case of Westec, as then I over encumber and that slows me down. As you can see, tankiness is not a problem. I can tank it all. They all dead after single shot. You can see experience popping up on the screen constantly after I tag them. So one hit and they are tagged. They are as good as killed. About the fuel efficiency, if you decide to go back and loot, you will get more fuel back than you spent. Like, they left one alive. Yes. Legendary. Yeah. Legendary need 2-shot. So now for the fuel efficiency, you can see when you scroll through this loot, they are dropping fuel back. Usually more than you use. You are using 10 per 1 or 2 super mutants. If you hit 2 with 1 shot, it's 10 fuel per 2. And they drop 10 or more on average. So you got your fuel back. In case of daily ops and expeditions, you got back more than you are using. And as you can clearly tell, tankiness is not a problem, especially if you run vampire. It's really good. So this is the build. Let me know what you think about it. I have so much fun with this build. Any questions? Let me know. And that being said, thank you all for watching and see you all in the next one.